Hey everyone, welcome to TechHub episode 1. And the topic we'll be discussing today is threats of artificial intelligence, and they are more alarming than you think. So, in this particular video, guys, we'll be discussing all around the threats that artificial intelligence possesses, and also we'll be discussing whether it actually is a threat or not, but mainly we'll be discussing about all kinds of threats it possesses, right? So, we'll be having more of these episodes coming up to you every week. So, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you want these kinds of videos and also other kinds of tutorials. And if you have any queries, leave a comment down below and we would be helping you out. And if you like those videos, please hit the like button. And now, guys, let's start with the discussion. So I have with me Lakshay and I'm Cody, and we'll be doing the discussion today. So hey, Lakshay.
Hey Cody.
So let's start the discussion. So now, first of all, the artificial intelligence word has been thrown around everywhere. So it has been discussed for 6, 7 years right now. It's been really popular for 6, 7 years, even though it came even before that. But now, what do you think about the threats of AI, or what are your thoughts on AI itself?
Yeah, Cody. The word has spread like a wildfire, but the downside of it being that people have stopped taking it seriously, as they likely to believe that it will either be less threatening or because we hear so much about it that we stop bothering about it. So yeah, definitely AI can be a threat to humans as well.
Okay, so that's a valid point. Yes, so when we also talk about the threat, obviously I'll also give in a few pointers when it actually sounds like a really big threat, but also it kind of helps helping humans. So let me say the very common part. So I think Lakshay, can you tell me about that? Could it replace human jobs? Do you think it could?
Yeah, obviously, I think AI can replace humans. For example, if I give you a chemical industry or a chemical plant where humans
Okay.
cannot work there, but when we use robots there, it can replace humans as well. But that's the part that I'm talking about, that AI can replace humans as well.
So, but again, when you talk about that, I could also find a benefit over there because if a human works in a toxic or a dangerous environment, they could get lots of health problems, and it could be a difficult job, right? So, it also kind of is a benefit, even though it took away the job.
Yeah, that's totally true. That means it's two sides of the same coin.
Okay, but you are saying that the threat is more than the benefits it's providing.
Yes.
Okay, so again, so this is just one simple threat, guys. So we'll be discussing more. And again, so we haven't even scratched the surface when we have come to discussing AI threats. So we're going to start with that right now. So, Lakshay, we were discussing about AI replacing humans, right? So can you give me a little more information about that, like some example or something?
Okay, Cody, so one more example I can give you is to make it even more clear. Let's take an example of chatbots that are there in Uber or any other popular app. So
Okay.
when we try to resolve any issue in the Uber app, or we chat with AI chatbots for the answers that we are asking, or for any queries or for any questions. We get responses from AI itself. So it is when AI chatbots are not able to solve the problem, only then the task is assigned to executive. So that's how
Okay.
I think AI is replacing humans, because humans have no need to work there where robots can work.
Yes, understood. Yeah, I think it is kind of a small problem in that case because if AI has automated replies, obviously we wouldn't need people to typing those replies in.
And Cody, what about the job automation? Do you know something about it? Can you give an example for that?
So yeah, so you were talking about AI replacing humans. So again, so chatbots are already automated. You ask them a question, they already have a reply ready, and it'll automatically be sent to you. So now that is one part. But again, as you told us that if it couldn't be solved, then it'll go to an executive. So still people are required. So same thing. Let's take a car manufacturing plant. The entire car manufacturing plant uses robots, which uses AI and other processes in order to figure out how to work. So it'll have a process built in, and that's how it'll work. So that completely is taken over by robots from humans, but still humans are required in the manufacturing plant in order to make it fully function, right? So to maintain the robots, to basically fine tune it when there's a problem with the robot, to repair it. So all of that would be taken care of humans. So again, as I told, even though they are taking up jobs, they are also creating jobs. So even though it's a threat, it also kind of helps in certain aspects. So that's what I'm also trying to say. if it has ability to function fully like a human being, think like a human being, because we don't just have logical thinking, we also have emotional thinking. Sometimes one particular thing could be done, uh, but again, as a human, you wouldn't do it because you know emotionally that's not the right thing to do. So robots or AI can't do that. So when it can function completely like humans, maybe that day it will completely take over human jobs. Okay, actually, so we've discussed about replacing human jobs. Now let's take a different view. Let's take a different point. So let's talk a little about privacy, security, and also there are other things like deep fakes, which we'll come to later. So can you tell me, how do you think AI could be a threat to privacy and security?
Sure, Cody. So, as you all guys know, that as the technology is growing, there's a massive spike in all the cyber attacks, and we keep on hearing about them as well. And we all
Okay.
know that if a certain software or a certain technology falls in the hands of a person with malicious intent,
Okay.
there could be a data loss, there could be loss to company, or they could even try to shut down the entire company as well. And that is not news to us. We all know about this. And not
Okay.
only this, 26 researchers and 14 institutions wrote 100-page reports stating that AI could threaten digital security. That means it can be through criminals training machines to hack or social engineering victims at human or superhuman levels of performance. It can be anything. And not only digital security, it is there for physical security as well, like non-state actors weaponizing consumer drones, and even political security nowadays we keep on hearing about, that is through privacy, eliminating surveillance, profiling, and repression, or throughout automated and targeted disinformation campaigns as well. I think you know about this already.
Yeah, actually, I think this already happened in the 2016 US elections when there was this
Yes.
major disinformation campaign on Facebook, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so also every single major dictatorship also uses technology to, as you said, to suppress them, to surveil on them, to basically making, again, targeted disinformation campaigns, talking fake information, giving them fake information. Yeah, so now, yeah, I think that actually happens.
And one more thing, I also want you to tell me a bit more about deepfakes.
Yeah, so we were talking about that, right? So again, it comes under like privacy and security. It comes under the security part, and also it invades certain privacy. So let me give you an example. For example, so first of all, artificial intelligence, it gave way to these hyper real seeming social media personalities. That is, you can't differentiate them from actual person because it's an AI generated face. You could actually create a completely different looking person who never existed on this planet, right? So from using that, you can basically create these personalities and use them to basically put out fake information. So it's a fake person with putting out fake information, but one or two might know, but everybody wouldn't know that. Okay. So yeah, so that's one major thing. So again, it's very difficult to differentiate from real ones. So this is what Ford said. And also, deployed cheaply and at scale on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, they could conceivably influence an election. So the same fake personalities, if they are basically created in scale, and if they are put out all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, so again, they could pass out fake information really quick because fake information spreads really fast than actual
Yes.
information, and that could be a really major problem. And also one more thing I wanted to add here. So again, using machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. So now using that,
Yes.
there is again one concept called natural language processing. Now you can basically change an audio clip into making it into some a different audio where you can manipulate other politicians and famous personalities speaking things which they have never spoken about. Like you can make Barack Obama say something in Hindi. Yeah, you can make Indian personality say something in Spanish. So you can do that using natural language processing. So now again, Ford said that this could completely derail a political campaign. For example, let's say you make a popular video with a politician and you may change the audio into saying something really bad, a racist comment or something like that, and you put it out, it could obviously make a bad image for that particular candidate, right? So yeah, so this
Yes.
is what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so I think we've discussed a little bit about privacy and security. Now let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so now coming to the next point. Okay, Lexi, can you also tell me? So there are these things talked about like autonomous weapons and the potential AI arms race where there could literally be a major war problem or weapons problem going around. Can you give me a brief about that?
Yeah, Cody. So there are very less people and who barely wonder that what if AI decided to launch nukes or any biological weapon on itself. So, for
Yeah.
example, if a country is making a biological weapon, and suppose we both are two countries and you are making a biological weapon, and I redirect your weapon towards your country itself, then what will happen? And there's always a possibility of an enemy country manipulating data to return AI guided missiles from where they came from. So that means everything is controlled by AI, and if we just need one hack thing to get into the system and then launch the missiles itself. So that can be very dangerous for any country, or any, it can also result in world war as well. And to prove this, more than 30,000 AI researchers and robotic researchers certainly think that it's a threat to not only me. So yeah, this is a very serious thing to think about.
Yeah, so if it could actually start World War III, then yes, it's a pretty big problem when you think about it like that. Yes.
Okay, so not let's not talk about more about World War III. So I heard that it has bring some instability in the stock market as well. Do you know something about it?
Yeah, so it's not as big as the arms race, but again, so there are a few things which could get into the stock market as well. So there is something called algorithmic high frequency trading, which is a major problem recently, which is going around making a lot of havoc to the stock market.
Okay, so what's algorithmic trading?
Okay, so algorithmic trading is basically a process for executing, utilizing like automated and pre-programmed trading instructions. So, for example, as a human, you would be looking at the stock, you would be looking at the graph, you would be looking at the previous trends, and then planning to buy. So let's say, okay, let's buy 10 shares, and you buy it. Okay, so this is how we normally do, and you look at the graph again, and if it's really high and you're getting a profit, you want to sell it. So that's how a human goes into a stock market. But algorithmic trading is basically putting these information into an algorithm and letting the algorithm do all the work for you. Again, this could be a problem because it could bring in a lot of variables. So, for example, the price, timing, and volume, everything will be already fed in, and it'll automatically work. So it would take away the human element so that the graphs could be so it could be uncertain.
Well, that can make our work easier as well. And you also mentioned something like high frequency trading. Can you also tell me about that?
Yeah, so as you said, it could make the person who's trying to do it could make their work easy. But when you talk about high frequency trading, it's actually clubbed together, which is algorithmic high frequency trading. So now, high frequency trading is just another one more risk to the financial system. So especially to the stock market. Why is that? So when this continuously happens, the algorithmic high frequency trading, that is automatically buying and selling stocks at right places, which could be which could be just minute second decisions, right? Humans can't make that perfect decisions, but AI, when the information is already provided, it could actually make those kinds of decisions. So this could make the stock market volatile in the sense it could make it unpredictable, it could make it uncertain, it could bring in huge investor losses. So for common men, for common people who are investing, it could bring in huge losses because they wouldn't know when to sell or when to buy. But the algorithm already is performing really well for the person who did it. But again, it's not always the algorithm will work. There could also be problems with it. But again, so this could bring major, it could be a really major problem to the stock market. Yeah, so I think that's about stock market. I don't think there is anything else to discuss a lot about. So now, also, I think we've come to the end of this particular session. Lakshmi, can you give me a major example of when an AI has gone completely wrong?
Okay, so one more example I can give you is, it seems in the late 2016s, so Uber conducted a test of self-driving cars in San Francisco, and
Okay.
that was without the approval from California state regulators, and that's why this news never came up. And Uber's initial statements, what happened there is, it suggested that traffic infractions were the result of driver error, Traffic infractions means the car that was self-driving car, it actually ran a red light at a busy pedestrian crosswalk, and that was not supposed to happen, but it happened. And that's the result of how AI can be bad to humans as well. It can replace humans, or it can be used in a bad manner as well. So that's the one reason I can give you, or one example I can give you for this.
Okay. Also, I heard that when Uber said it was just a random glitch or something, but actually the AI decided to cross a red light. Was this true, Lakshya? I think I
No,
kind of
yeah,
heard
I
about
think
it.
that was really true. And internal documents that were received later by the government, it shows that at least one vehicle was indeed driving itself when it ran a red light.
Okay, so that's pretty interesting, and also it's kind of scary when you think about it if an AI decides to do that. So again, but again, let's not go very wild. So again, AI is again a bunch of instructions put together in an algorithm, but when it's properly trained and it has all the data, it could make decisions like this. So that's the major example which was given by Lexi. And if you guys also have any other examples of AI gone bad, put it in the comment section. We would love to hear about all of them. So now we've come to the end of the session, guys. I hope this discussion was helpful and also fun for you. If you want more of these discussions, please put down if you want us to discuss about any particular topic, put down in the comment section. We would surely do about it. And also, if you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want more of this content, subscribe to our channel. So that's it. So thank you, Lakshya, for being in this session. So that's it for this particular Tech Hub, guys. So thanks so much.